You said we're gonna do something to your brain.
Hi, and welcome to Dead Air 11. This week we're talking about the Wheel of Time. Down with love, surviving on a raft or something. But first, dogs.
Dogs.
Go for it, Christina.
Yep. Just
Straight out of the gate.
straight out of the gate. Just a little update.
Like a whippet.
Thanks to everybody in the comments who said sorry about your dog last week. I hope he's doing well. That's very nice of you. Literally after we finished posting Dead Air on Sunday, it happened again after we took our dog out after filming. So
My dog got attacked by the husky across the road.
yeah, for a second time. In
Came
a few
into my
days.
yard and tore him up.
Yep. So that was a lot of fun. Hopefully this time he will recover.
He's okay.
He's all right.
He's
Yeah.
scabbed up, but
Yeah, he's okay. He's just gonna have more new scars and
yeah,
a little bit jumpy.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I feel kind of like very relaxed talking about it now, but it was like very upsetting for like 3 days. We were thinking and talking about nothing but that because we had to get the cops out
Yeah.
as well. Oh,
Yeah. Who were very nice.
yeah.
But basically told us like there's not much they can do. So
Both the dispatcher and the cop, I think a total of 3 times between them said, "You know you can kill it.
yeah.
You know you're within your rights to shoot it." Like, great. Well,
Yeah.
that's not
So-
why I was calling you.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. So I'm still a little bit tired, but we're doing all right.
Yeah.
So getting
Yeah, and
getting back to normal.
The cops came and went over and had a word, and
Yeah. Could hear the neighbor yelling from like 150 feet away or something.
Christ. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah. And the cop basically said, like, give me a call if it happens again, and
Yeah.
then maybe I can take the dog away. But he was on our side, basically.
yeah.
It's just, the law.
Yeah.
We live in apparently a no leash county, I guess.
Yeah.
No,
guess.
no law on leashes.
Yeah. So, yeah, anywho. That's it. Update on that. Yep.
Yeah.
He's okay. So, what's our next topic?
Yeah. Go on then.
The Wheel of Time. Very excited, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
My favourite.
Your favorite, yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. George has been reading The Wheel of Time his entire life. Several times a year. Goes through the entire series.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, I like the bit with Gandalf in the tower when he turns everything into butterflies. Butterfrees.
Butterfrees.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, go on then. You're okay, I don't give a crap about the Wheel of Time.
Yeah. I love the books The Wheel of Time. They made, 2 years ago now, did a TV adaptation on Amazon. And there's a second season coming out in like a week. So I forced George to rewatch that first season.
For the third time.
For the third time. Which I'm sure was a lot of fun for him. Yeah.
Yeah.
God damn. Yeah, so I just want to talk about that briefly. Just kind of, it was interesting to me just thinking about, it's Saturday, so there's going to be people out on
It's
the
always Saturday.
vroom vrooms. Yeah, it's always Saturday.
Aren't you a bit bike curious though?
No.
No, okay.
I used to ride a bicycle quite a bit.
Right.
I'm not really.
Well, I mean, that's what would that be like the?
You're just stalling now.
That would be like the. Oh, what did they call it? Oh, this is good radio. They called it. Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. I'm sorry about this. It's the Mormon, but not exclusively Mormon practice of not having sex by just penetrating and laying there, and someone else does that with the bed.
What are you talking about? Motorcycles?
No, I'm talking about like a loophole in the Mormon church is that it's not sex if you.
No, I heard you, but why'd you bring this up?
I can't remember. I can't remember. That's not the important bit right now. The important bit is remembering what it's called.
I can't
I
remember.
want to call it dry wadding.
I feel like you've brought this up to me like 3
Soaking.
times in the last year, right?
Dry soaking or something, or soaking. Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, why did I mention that? Anyway.
I can't remember, yeah.
Oh yeah. we were going to talk about the Raft.
That's later.
So the Wheel of Time is 15 fantasy novels.
14.
Right.
Yeah, written by Robert Jordan, finished by Brandon Sanderson.
Because Robert Jordan died.
Robert Jordan died. And I love the series. Started reading it when I was like 14. I read it like every so often. I reread it. I really enjoy it. And I don't really enjoy like fantasy, like novels in general, but I really like that one. So I was interested.
Even with all the she squeezed her.
That's not what. No,
her
that's
nubile
not it.
breasts together.
That's not it.
Like the forging of a Edna's crevasse. No, it doesn't run like that.
It's not exactly that. No.
No.
She crossed her arms under her breasts. I do find that a bit obnoxious because, you don't describe it.
Comma,
but
which then squeezed together.
A lot of that also depends
Like
on
two bald convicts trying to
never saw
escape
like that.
jail.
No, it's actually pretty.
It's my carry-on reference.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Anyway,
You like it.
I really like the
and
series.
I've read a little bit of one, and I like the ideas. I'm not really into fantasy. To be honest, I am into fiction, but I don't read fiction anymore.
Yeah.
I should go back to it. I will.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's got some really interesting ideas, and we both thought the Amazon series was crap.
Yeah, it was garbage. Yeah. But coming at it from different perspectives, since like some of the stuff about the book, because you've had to listen to me talk about it every so often for the last 5.5, almost 6 years. So you didn't go into it totally without any knowledge, but it was interesting to me watching with you, just to kind of have that different perspective, like somebody who hasn't read the books, what they think of it. And it was a fun experience, kind of, in a way of like, not enjoying something together, I guess.
I guess that perspective of watching it, having not read the books, I guess, like my purest, simplest observation is like, oh wow, I bet this would make a lot more sense if I'd read the books.
Yeah.
If I didn't know it was based on a book, I would guess.
Yeah.
Because
there feels like there's stuff left out and.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the first time we watched it, you were asking me. The first, like, especially the first few episodes or so, like we were pausing like every few minutes because you were asking me questions like, "What's that mean?" And like, I don't understand, And I got the feeling like trying to go into it. First of all, I didn't have high expectations. I was like, they'll probably be crap, but I'll give it a shot.
Why? You so cynical?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's TV.
It's TV, you know. And a book's always better than, a film adaptation or a TV adaptation for the most part. So I didn't have expectations, but I was definitely curious to see it because they've had, like, plans to make a movie or a series or something for, like, people have talked about it for, like, decades, and it just never falls through. Amazon eventually, picked it up.
You mean it always falls through?
Or, yes, that's right.
It never follows through, which the Amazon series definitely did.
Yeah,
they followed right through.
They followed right through, right through.
Shat its fucking brains out.
Right through the gut. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, why didn't you like it?
Well, yeah. So
and don't start going on about they get the Yarafat character all wrong.
That's not what I was going to talk about. God.
Okay.
Tell me more about Mormons. All right. So no, don't please. I know plenty. Yeah.
Dum.
So, yeah, watching it, knowing it's an adaptation, like, you expect that adaptations will inevitably, especially when you have a big series, have to, like, condense a lot of stuff and, like, simplify storylines and stuff like that. Like, all that's expected, I think. You can't, especially if you're planning to make between 5 and 8 seasons, depending, and you're doing 14 books.
Said they were going to do 5, and that was it.
See, I've seen elsewhere them saying like we could do like 8, but 5 is what I've heard the most, and what they've said the most. Like we want to do at least 5 seasons, and that's a lot of material. So I get it. It's not going to be like that. So I tried to go into it without thinking about it necessarily as an adaptation, but trying to think of it in terms of, on the first viewing at least, just a story and if I didn't know this world and what the story is, how would I feel about it? And pretty much what I thought was exactly the stuff that you were kind of saying while watching it. In a lot of ways. Like, what did you dislike about it? Let's go. The costumes are awful.
No.
No?
I think the costumes are actually not that bad.
Some are okay.
It's more just like the costume design on. So okay, I see. You're talking about like the armor and stuff,
especially
like
the armor,
the resin weightless armor,
the plastic armor,
the weightless hand axes,
spotless clothes.
Yeah, that's more of a problem. I mean, there's very little attention to detail in the set design often, where they go and stay in the abandoned city. And they go and stay in like that big cathedral, and the floor is like immaculate, like studio floor, apart from the one bit they've decided to sleep, which is just, it's not a cracked floor, it looks like that, but it's actually just cracked tiles they've put on a perfectly flat epoxy floor.
Yeah, or like stone walls in towns and stuff, and like just
and it looks
spotless,
like it's brand
like it's
new.
never rained kind of thing. Like, I know what walls look like. So definitely I don't understand.
Like it's like the idea of setting a film in ancient Rome, and all the buildings are brand new, but it was never like that because it was an evolving city. Just like in London, you have lots of buildings that are brand new and lots of buildings that are 100 years old and lots of buildings that are 50 years old. And
Exactly.
Well,
but then also when we see like big cities, like
they're not big enough.
Tarvalon, and there's like 5 people in the street. And it's like the same alleyway with like a teeny tiny road for like each scene that takes place in that city. It seems like, it's just like, I kept wondering like where the $10 million at least per episode went. But then I did find some interesting information about
special effects.
The effects is a whole other thing. Some of that stuff, they said, okay, they were filming during COVID and then they had to stop filming for a bit and come back. And then one of the main actors left, which is kind of weird, for reasons that we don't know. But that, I can see how that throws a wrench in some things. But there's really no excuse for, like...
Did he come back to do the bit where he's like, I'm not going?
No, they just used... You can tell that they just used footage of him, like, just standing there looking around.
Yeah,
and made it like he wasn't going with them, but didn't say anything, or... Yeah, I mean, I guess I can't blame him for that, Who knows what happened there.
I thought they cut it okay then.
That's fine. But then the effects on, like, so much stuff.
Because he doesn't say anything, does he? When I said, I'm not going, I was just making up a movie in my own head, wasn't I?
Yeah.
Which is what I had to do during this.
Yeah. Some of the effects were really bad. For sure.
The effects,
especially some of the bits where you see like some look alright, and then you'll see like that bit, like probably like the second or third episode where there's like a Trolloc like running through the lake, and it looks like a cartoon character. Like, couldn't just.
But none of this is why it's not very good.
No, actually, these are just details that are obnoxious. But what's the reason that it's not very good?
It's been produced and written by people who don't trust the source material, don't particularly appreciate the source material, it seems like,
It feels
and don't really, but also at the same time don't really have any strong ideas that they're sacrificing the source material for.
Yes, that's where a lot of it comes back to me. Like I say, like you have to, you have to, you have a big bit of source material, you've got to condense it, simplify it. You have to combine characters. Lord of the Rings, which I haven't read the books, really enjoyed the Peter Jackson movies. I've read that they had to combine some characters and change people's roles a bit.
Well, a lot of people didn't like those films when they came out for that reason, right?
Yeah, a lot of people didn't like it for that reason.
So it's not true to the books.
What happened to Tom Bombadil? Sorry.
What happened to Tom Bombadil?
Yeah.
Bombers!
I don't even know who that is.
Where are you, dude?
I have to read Tolkien, I guess, sometime. So you expect some of that stuff to happen, but here, first of all, they did not use the actual story at all. They made up their own story that just has the same characters and the same 2 or 3 events that are the same, and then make up their own thing. So
They changed characters, like they gave Perrin a wife.
Yes, Perrin starts with a wife and accidentally kills her. Like, why? Like, I don't understand. To me, it reads like we think these characters are boring the way they are at the beginning of the first book. So first of all, we want to darken this. Jeff Bezos said he wants like his own Game of Thrones. So let's make this darker. It's like if Peter Jackson
Is that what Jeff Bezos said?
That's what I'd read.
How much is Bezos involved in this?
That he wanted his own Game of Thrones type of thing. And that's what they wanted from the Wheel of Time.
Yeah, but he didn't mean he wanted them to make a TV show. He meant he wanted the houses of Amazon to divide beneath him and rule over them as an emperor.
Okay, I see. I get your joke. That's good. Yeah.
I want my own Game of Thrones. I want my own gladiator.
Yeah. And so, yeah, it's just weird that... Okay, so if you're going to make changes like that, I think there needs to be, like, a purpose. To me, it's like... Let's say that Peter Jackson made Lord of the Rings after Game of Thrones ended. And while making it was like... we need this to be like darker, more mature, more of an adult audience. So I tell you what, it's better if Samwise Gamgee actually is already married and he accidentally murders his wife, and Frodo, his dad is still alive and he's an alcoholic and he beats him. That's not the point of the Shire, I think. Tell me if I'm wrong here, people who've read it. Like a happy, peaceful place, and then they go out into this dangerous, dark world, and you explore that with them.
Is the original American founding fathers' dream. No, it is. I mean, not the slavery bit, but an agrarian utopia where everyone's smoking as much weed as they can take.
Yeah, right.
That's what they wanted.
Yeah.
Read the Constitution, people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I don't know. Any Tolkien fans?
Probably not. Very rare.
How do you feel about that?
Well, yeah. I mean, I just didn't think it was very well written. It's, okay. The actual story and the structure I don't think was very well written, but also the dialogue combines both kind of like grade 9, like I shall now attempt to speak like ye oldie, with also kind of modern stuff and and everyone's got a modern haircut, and people have been walking around for a month and they've still got the exact same haircut and the exact same clothes, and it looks like there's been half an hour between takes.
They've supposedly been traveling for a month, but in the same clothes. But I know, but they're
and there's all this like fighting where there's all this all it really is just like this weird posturing, and no one's doing any fighting, and we get like a horde of Trollocs, which are basically orcs.
More or less.
We get a big horde of them, but actually when you look past like how dark they've made it, there's actually like one every like 16 feet, and the rest is dust.
A lot of feelings of like
unfinished CGI.
Yeah, unfinished CGI, but also like the lack of extras like overall is weird. It does not feel like this is a very big world. So
what do you think about Rosamund Pike producing it and putting in all those shots of her having a bath?
I mean, it is interesting that they decided to that she's producing it and they decided to make her like
glam,
the main character. Yeah. And I don't want to bore people with talking about like her character isn't like that in the book. She's very mysterious in the books. It's not, Isolator's supposed to be emotionless. Try not to get too boring. I can already tell. Like, I'm sick of this. But, okay, I just want to go back to the point, though, that, like, those changes need to have, like, a purpose. So, like, say you want to simplify the story and change the story and make, like a way simpler story that's... I mean, the story's not complicated in the first book anyway, but make it very simple. We've got to combine locations and stuff for budget, things like that. But then if you use that, like, leeway to then... bring the world to life more and like the cultures of these places and put more effort into that. Like I could see, but they decided to change like cultural details. By that I mean like the way people dress, like adding their own oh my god, I don't even want to talk about that. Yes, like having like a ritual at the beginning of like Egwene braiding her hair. That doesn't happen. It's not like adding all this of your own lore stuff while ignoring the lore of the books and changing the entire story. Like, what's the purpose here? And I guess the reason it's frustrating is, like, again, I love the Wheel of Time. I think that if more people got to enjoy it and liked it, that would be cool. But this was like Wheel of Time fan fiction.
Yeah. Well, the reason that they chose it, right, was nothing to do with, like, liking it.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, it was for them, it was in the Goldilocks place of, this is proven and has been proven to be beloved, but is also old enough, and the author is dead, where we can really what we're buying is the IP.
Yeah.
And really the IP here it's not like Spider-Man. It's you like Game of Thrones, you've never read the books though, have you? You never heard of Game of Thrones until we made it. Same with this, like,
yeah.
idea.
Yeah, I think that, yeah, I can see that, but I would think, like, from a marketing perspective, that you would want the fans of the source material to be at least a little bit satisfied, which some people, I guess, were, according to Reddit. But so that they act as like an arm of, like, your marketing for you. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I saw it and thought that it was, like, decent, I would be telling people about it, like, all the time.
No, you wouldn't.
Yes, well, I mean, I don't talk to anybody but you.
Yeah.
And my mom.
Oh, yes, you'd be telling
But I
me
would be
about it
talking
all
to
the
the
time.
two of you about it all the time.
So I'm lucky then that it's not very good.
I
I didn't hate it, but I
Yeah.
thought, I'm equally as sort of uninterested in Tolkien, and I thought Power Rings was way better.
know, I was going to bring that up, actually, like,
Yeah.
so maybe that is, like, an important thing, because even though you haven't read the books, you've heard me talk about them and how much I love them, so that may impact, I don't know, your opinion. I like to think that you probably have the same opinion anyway, because it's just, objectively not great. But,
Well, no, but...
but yeah, we both liked Power Rings.
Yeah.
Like, for very specific things. I mean, I can't stand the
It's not
fucking...
objectively not great. What are you
I
talking
know,
about?
I'm just... Yeah, I know, I get it.
God.
But, yeah, haven't read Tolkien, but I did not like the freaking Harfoots, but I liked a lot of the stuff in that show. It was fun. It looked really good.
You've got apples in your hair.
You've got apples in your hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, every time there's a Harfoot scene, and they're just, like, talking, and it's supposed to be a dramatic
It's
moment.
distracting.
And George is like, you have acorns in your hair.
Yeah, let me just get that for you. There you go. Look, hang on. Let me just stomp it into the floor so you don't get tempted to pick it up and put it back in there, you fucking degenerate. Yeah.
Yeah, but there was other stuff I liked about it, And it looked a lot better, and it did have a pretty clear story, not without problems, but...
Also, you were saying as well, one of the reasons you liked Power Rings was because Gandalf, he likes little people. They've tried to connect it with Peter Jackson. He likes Harfoots, little... He says, like, little hobbit type things, doesn't he? Yeah, I like little hobbit type things. Harfoots don't exist by the time we get to Lord of the Rings. Therefore, at some time, all those Harfoots in Power Rings are euthanized. And that's what we're waiting for, isn't it? That's why you're watching.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're bored.
No, I was just...
What I was saying was wild and interesting.
making sure the microphone is still there. Yeah.
Alright then.
Yeah,
No, do you not think that the Harfoots are all going to get killed?
I mean, well, yeah, if they're... I would kind of think, or... I mean, because they're not there in Lord of the Rings, and I can't remember how long it's supposed to have been later, like... I don't know how long it's supposed to be.
It's like 1,000 years.
Is it? Or like, I thought it was like 2,000 or 3,000.
3,000 years is like 1,000 years.
Yeah, sure. So, yeah. I don't know. I mean,
make it make it like he's the equivalent of, like, their Jurassic period. Like, it's actually, like, 65 million years ago.
yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, but apparently loads of people, like, really hated the Rings of Power because kind of similar reasons that I have stated with Wheel of Time. It's like they make their own story.
Well,
you
yeah.
know, but I mean, also,
no,
like, that's not based on a story, though. It's based on, like, isn't it like an encyclopedia of events, basically?
I can
know.
see that argument. Yeah, definitely, and I don't think Power Rings was, like, brilliant, but I think even if it did tell its own story, which it did, it kind of did its own thing a bit. I think it did it better, way better.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think the acting was way more convincing. I think that the writing was way more convincing. I think there's still problems.
The
There's
bromance
still
with
costume problems.
Some of the costumes I liked in Power Rangers quite a bit, but some of it
Elrond
didn't look
walking
great
for
either.
a week and then...
Yeah, there are some of those issues too.
You could have had a great bit where Elrond gets up and he's been like sleeping on some moss for the night, and he just does that with his hair, and his hair's all slick again.
It is weird, like where they travel between, like, sorry, Tolkien people, the elf city and the dwarf city, and it feels like they can walk there. Like it's around the corner. Like how far away are these cities? It wasn't clear to me. And then we see a map, and it's like, oh, it looks pretty far.
They should have gone into it and had Elrond talking to, what's his name, Master Blacksmith. I can't remember his name. Yeah, the guy who actually makes the rings.
Celebrimbor.
Celebrimbor. When he's talking to Celebrimbor, he says, well, that time frame, Celebrimbor, we wouldn't be able to do it alone. We'd have to look outside our borders. And Celebrimbor's like, how far are you thinking? And Elrond goes, "Oi, dwarf!"
Yeah, it was kind of like that.
Fuck off, elf.
Yeah.
They live on top of each other. It's like a duplex.
Yeah, but I loved the Durin and Elrond stuff. Their bromance was that was great. I would watch a whole series of just the two of them getting drunk and
Asterix and Obelix.
About.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Can we stop talking about the Wheel of Time?
I know, especially since you'll have to watch the second season in a week.
Is it all coming out at once?
The first 3 episodes are coming out at once.
Right.
So, by the way, do you want to double down on your assertion that they are not going to finish the series, that it's going to end up canceled? Just in case that does happen, everybody can know that you predicted it.
Do I want to double down on it? What you mean by publicly stating that I think that Jeff Bezos will stoop to causing a minor industrial accident on set and possibly killing the person who plays Rand just to get out of having to make the last 2 seasons. Well, you said it would be really embarrassing. I don't know. You see, I really didn't like it, and I thought it was really condescending, which Power Rings was not. Like Power Rings, problems and all sorts, sure, but but I thought this was really. Really thought that I was dumb.
That's
and that made me dislike it, and I don't think I'm the only one who thinks that.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
I think they'll keep going, but I think they'll finish season 5 if that's what they've said, and I think they'll just be less and less fanfare each new season.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, and just to add a little bit more, and I promise we'll move on. It's really that, thinking the audience is stupid, I think that, is the most obnoxious to me.
It's hard to give an example of that, isn't it?
Well, here's one. People, we need this to be, more, okay, sorry. Okay, people need to say words that don't exist in the Robert Jordan universe. Like bastard and prick and damn and shit.
Do they have their own words for that then?
They have their
his
own
parents
curse
were married.
system,
Yeah, he's a Falongaloo.
They have their own curses, yeah. It's really funny, dorky stuff. It depends on what culture you're in because they all have their own curses based on their own cultural background. So if you're from
people stub their toe and go, Jesus H. Akatosh.
I mean, yeah, if you're from the area that's on the sea, there's a lot of fishing there. And Tyr, you have curses like fish guts,
By Bo Diddley Strawbrim!
And/or mother's milk in a cup. Calling people varieties of sheep things, Depends on where they're at. It feels more like its own world to me. And when the writers were making this and the showrunner, I just get the feeling that they were like, well, people won't like that. That's too silly. I don't trust that. Let's just change that. Let's just add some modern curse words.
But then they're all kind of... They do that, but then they're all kind of a bit tame anyway.
Yeah, so yeah, exactly. They're all like quite milquetoast.
Like if you're gonna
anyways.
like do that, do it like Deadwood style, where people are constantly calling each other like fucking cocksuckers and stuff, even though they probably wouldn't have used those words.
Yeah, or maybe like a variation of.
But it comes across as strong language.
Yeah, like it was like that. Like they wanted to like
Mouse were doing a proper
add
jig
these
under the
like kind of
floorboards last night.
that still makes me laugh. Theo, now's our time, and he's like, "What?" I'm
Good.
not on Sauron's side.
Derailed it again.
Yeah, yeah. I guess I'll just stop there. I felt like it was dumbing down stuff for people. You know, let's add a teenage love triangle that isn't there. It's almost like they wanted this to be for, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know who the audience was meant to be. Is this meant to be for teenagers? Is this meant to be for adults?
It's meant to be for 18 to 25-year-olds. And I think you found that if you were in that age bracket, you would love it.
Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, alright, anywho. Are you looking at time?
1 hour and 15 minutes talking about Wheel of Time. 1 hour and 15.
It hasn't been an hour 15.
Yeah, it has.
No, it hasn't.
Look at it. See?
Okay. Yeah, about 32 minutes, okay. You're such a gem.
Thanks.
Okay, we can move on. But I can't promise that I won't talk about this again after the show comes out. We'll discuss later.
What's next?
Okay, next.
Oh no, Down in Love.
Oh, right. Down for Love and Love on the Spectrum. What do you have to say about those two Netflix shows?
Okay, so Love on the Spectrum is, I think, a New Zealand produced but Australian set.
Mm-hmm. I think it was
reality TV show reality TV show about people with autism dating and finding love.
Mm-hmm. Which we watched several months ago,
yes.
I want to say.
And I think there's at least 2 seasons of it.
Yeah, I think so.
And is it called Down with Love? Down
for Love.
Down for Love is the same thing, but instead of autism, it's people with Down syndrome.
Mm-hmm. And it appears to be new, I believe. Yeah. Yeah. What do you have to say about all that?
It's done in a very, I suppose, sweet way, in a way that almost reminds me of, like, if you remember Come Fly With Me on BBC about a woman who flew a glider around with her dog, Biggles. Almost like children's programming. It's got that sort of tone and handling of BBC children's programming. It's done very, there's narration, but it's very minimalist. It never goes into anything.
Yeah, it's very light.
It's very light.
Its presentation.
And, tries to be very positive.
Yeah.
And obviously all the people, it tries not to be judgmental, and all the people in it are guided by people on screen who, have clearly been briefed and clearly have training.
It would be like, I'm a dating expert.
Specializing
I'm
in people with special needs.
People with special needs, stuff like that, yeah.
Yeah. Did you find it at all distasteful?
Yeah. So, I have to keep double checking that. Yeah, so Love on the Spectrum.
What do you have to keep checking?
I want to make sure I get the titles right, so I'm not like Love on the Down Love. Because the names are weirdly confusing. What about people with autism? It was sweet often. And, obviously they had people from like various points on the spectrum, so there was like quite a lot of variety. It was also, a bit sad. But as we went through it, and then more so with this new one, it was really, there are bits where it just kind of rubs me the wrong way, where it seems like, even though they have this upbeat, light tone, and the narrator is like, happy, and they're gonna find love, but then the footage that they choose to show, and then sometimes the music behind it, it makes me feel like we're meant to be being amused by these people with disabilities rather than it being actually anything that's valuable. You know
Well,
what I mean?
yeah, I mean, what's the value in it at all?
Well, I
in
mean-
terms of anything beyond entertainment.
I mean, the one about people with autism, I mean, I did learn like a few things there. You know, a little bit here and there. We're talking about like, you know, some people with autism have sensitivities to like sound and different like smells and tastes and things like that. I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then it's like, you know, watch these two be really awkward together on a date. And you know, it can be very sweet, but it's also like this, I don't know. And this one, the newer one, we've only
Down
watched
syndrome
the Down
one.
syndrome one. We've only watched a couple episodes, I think.
Yeah.
And it was way different. Like, there's a bit where these two people with Down syndrome go on a date. One of them, like, falls down, like, in a bush, and the other one is trying to help them up and, like, can't quite make it. And this, like, comedy music comes on in the background. And it just made me, like, what are you doing? You know, it just really, like, rubbed me the wrong way.
So you think it's a bit... You think it's exploitative, I guess?
Yeah, I'd say it's exploitative, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I can still say, like, you know, it can have moments of sweetness, but it is exploitative.
Yeah, I mean...
You know, I think that they're trying to, I don't know. What do you guys think?
People aren't going to watch it if it's not entertaining.
Yeah, of course. I get it, yeah.
Why make, you know?
So,
Well...
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's sad.
Yeah, it is sad, yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know, yeah. And just, you know, it can be sweet too. Like, everybody wants to be loved. Everybody, for the most part, you know, wants to be accepted and, you know, be close with someone. Most of us want that. But, and, like, all that's fine, but, you know, I don't know if you need to, like, have comedy music over somebody, like, where you're kind of making fun of their disability, you know, in order to make that message come across that everybody wants to be loved. Maybe it wasn't doing that. Maybe it's just the way I viewed it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anything else to say about that?
No, I don't think so. I have a kind of... I don't know. I don't know if it's a story I want to tell. It's not really that relevant. Never mind.
Okay. All right, we'll move on. Excuse me.
Well, no, I kind of want to tell it. It's kind of like tantalizing.
Which one is it? Can you give me a clue without...
I don't think I've ever told you yet.
Oh, okay.
It's about when I was... well, first I was doing research about Down syndrome, and then I got on to disabled dating.
Mm-hmm.
Did I ever tell you about that?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, I was doing some research about Down syndrome, and then I got onto disabled dating.
Mm-hmm.
And I found... this must have been like 2015 or something, 2016. I found... like the back end of this defunct website, which was called something like mydisableddating.com or something, you know, something like that. Something pretty generic. And I was trying to work out like if this site had been live or not. I can't remember where I found it, but it was like really interesting. And then I started to find all the old pages of people's profiles on disabled dating, and it was really interesting.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, yes. And I was so I was doing that because I was doing the love video.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I was doing it for that, and I found this woman's profile of she was like 45, and she was like a nice looking 45-year-old woman, and then her profile said like just like a normal profile, like this is what I like. You know, like these sorts of movies and stuff, and then it said, 7 years ago I had a stroke and I'm confined to a wheelchair and I'm blind, and it just, I don't remember it just like hitting me like how lonely this person must have been, and it was horrendous, and I can remember like a lot of what she said, but then I got on to just to really fucking cheer myself up. I got into, what's it called? It used to be like a really notorious message board, like mensfitness.com or something like that.
Okay.
They used to have like a really open message board, and people would talk about all sorts of shit not to do with men's fitness.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I also found on this defunct disabled website was there were people with disabilities and there were people who were just like gold diggers.
Mm-hmm.
Like men and women. Like I don't have a disability, I'm looking for somebody with a disability who will pay all my expenses.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of shit. That was mainly it. It was people with disabilities and
Right.
yeah. And then so then I did a reverse search on an image, or I found linked or something, I can't remember. One of these profiles led me to where it had been shared, which was on a forum on menshealth.com. Not menshealth.com, like men's health fitness, some shit like that.
Sure.
And it was these people talking about what website can I date women who are normal, like 25-year-old women, but have the minds of 10-year-olds.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted, people to be who were like completely like submissive to them.
Mm-hmm.
And they linked one of these profiles. Yeah, and that was fucking...
People are gross.
That was one of the few times I've actually thought, like, I need to go outside now.
Yeah. Get out of this rabbit hole and try not to kill yourself. Yeah.
No, it wasn't like try not to kill myself. It was...
Yeah. Should we check on him real quick and do a 5 minutes later?
I think he's just sat down.
Well, I think I'll put some treats in his toy and put it in the back bedroom.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
5 minutes later.
So how much did you love Cocaine Bear?
I didn't.
I'm on cocaine. You didn't like Cocaine Bear?
I didn't hate it, but no, I didn't like it either.
Why not?
Primarily because I think that for what it was trying to do, it didn't go far enough.
I agree. Oh, look at Cocaine Bear.
Yeah.
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 Firstly, if a bear had that much cocaine, it would die. Right? That's the first thing. Secondly, this was profoundly lacking in laughs.
Yeah. Especially the way that it like kind of starts and the way they kind of set it up. Like, okay, this is going to be a comedy. Yeah, throw out any ideas about, like, you know, how realistic anything is. Don't care. It's just supposed to be a silly comedy. You got, like, the 80s music, and it's trying to be, like, a B-movie thing. Okay, but then it didn't go very far with that, and there just weren't a whole lot of laughs for me.
It came across, actually, as, I thought, pretty corporate. Like, its use of music, and the, like, sad moments and sad music. It really felt like... At least the people who put it together, like the editor and the sound designer and the director overseeing the edit, were just like, let's do it, let's finish it. It didn't seem very inspired.
Yeah, like where it would have those moments of like, you know, the little sad music part. Like, it'd be way better for me if they did the same kind of things, but then it was like the most over-the-top sad violin ever. Like, just further, you know? Yeah. Because it doesn't push anything far enough for it to be that funny to me as like a parody of... I mean, I'm assuming that's what it's supposed to be. Kind of a parody of like B-movies and silly ideas. You know what I mean?
It wasn't a parody though, was it? It wasn't a spoof. Really, it was just... I think there are a number of films about people trapped in the woods, hunted by a bear. There's one with... Hannibal Lecter, not Brian Cox. Who plays Hannibal Lecter? Tony Hopkins. Tony Hopkins and Alec Baldwin. That's a good one. I can't remember his name. They're on a private plane or something, and their plane goes down in Alaska, and then they're hunted by a bear. Right. And it's, you know, I'm not saying it's like the best film ever made, but you know.
Yeah, I get you. Right,
it's
like
an
that.
adventure film. And this didn't have... This either needed to be that, but funny, or, like, absolutely bonkers, like, Naked Gun spoof. Like, spoofing the whole... Like, all of it. Spoofing movies, spoofing disaster movies.
Yeah, I would have preferred that myself.
Yeah. I mean, I'd have preferred that with a lot of things.
Yeah.
You know, but I wanted Leslie Nielsen like doing that while someone with bare hands strangles him through a window.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, stuff like that.
I wanted mannequins flying off
off of tall buildings.
Tall buildings or car crash dummies or
a Catwoman dummy dropping off. That was like the best dummy drop of all time.
I wanted like this cartoon bear. Okay, I get it. You can't use a bear. Mm-hmm. I wanted this cartoon bear like running after anyone, and then running and like just jogging, and this bear getting closer and closer, and the John Cleese shot of this bear never catching up. Mm-hmm. I wanted stuff like that, like nonsense.
I see it.
And absurdity.
And I wanted the same thing. I mean, I guess we should say neither of us. I mean, we both heard of this, but not anything about it. At least I hadn't. So we kind of did go into it pretty like just completely fresh in terms of what it was going to be like.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people really liked it.
Really?
I seem to recall people talking about it and was like enjoying it.
Yeah, right, okay.
And just with the cartoon bear thing, to me, was like really distracting. I think it would be way more funny if it was a dude in a suit. Seriously, like. And
they've only got one sample of him going. Rrr! So it's just that on a loop. Rrr!
Yeah.
Rrr!
Yeah. Yeah, stuff like that. I would appreciate it a lot more. I mean, it was nice to see Ray Liotta again.
Ray Liotta in his best role since B-Movie.
I don't think I ever saw that.
He's really good in it.
Is he?
Yeah. He's really important to the plot.
You mean B-Movie, the one about the bees? Yeah, right.
Do you know what happens?
I can't recall.
The bees sue Ray Liotta. Not Ray Liotta playing someone. They sue literally Ray Liotta and Ray Liotta's honey farm.
Okay, that's kind of funny.
Yeah. Yeah, and a woman leaves her human fiancé for a bee. Mm-hmm. It's mental.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Maybe I never actually saw that one.
Yeah, it's good.
I have to do that. Yeah. It's good. Okay, I believe you.
It's good.
Yeah.
I mean, it was made like super famous after the fact by all those memes, right? Like, I think one of the big ones was the B movie, but it gets twice as fast every time someone says the word B. Mm-hmm. And then it's like 3 minutes where like you get like 30 seconds and then like 3 scenes in a minute and then just...
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bees.
Bees?
Yeah. I think it should have been really silly.
Yeah.
I guess I hoped, I don't know much about it, I hoped it was like a genuine independent movie, still made on like $1 million, like not like it doesn't have anything behind it, but because of its ridiculous name and what I hoped would be like splatter gore comedy, it was like, oh, have you seen this? It's trash, but it's really fun.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was
expecting. And it isn't
expecting.
really fun.
Yeah.
I wish it had been trashier and fun.
Yeah, no, I wanted that too. Like, I mean, especially, it's a silly concept to begin with. Like, you may as well just take it further. Like, I would be happy to see, like, the bear using a machine gun on somebody. Like, just go for it. Something that's more than, like, and then it chases them again. And yeah. What else happened in that movie? People getting chased around by a bear.
The bear with a machine gun, yeah. Like, they try and restrain the bear with, like, chain, and it gets through the chain.
Yeah. Yeah. Something. Yeah, just wasn't as fun as I was hoping for it to be. And it was way more, I mean, I know when we first started watching it, we were, like, looking at the, like, cast and the opening credits, and we were like, what? Okay, like, yeah, like, I thought it was, like, a much cheaper, like, independent-ish, just from the concept, I would expect, it would not be like the kind of movie where you'd see like Ray Liotta and was it Calista Flockhart as well?
Was she in it?
Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong actress name.
Ally McBeal. That's Calista Flockhart.
Yeah. No, it wasn't her then. It was that other lady from.
Oh, the other lady who wasn't Calista Flockhart, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. What is her name? The girl in that show where she has the hair and she cuts her hair and then everybody hated the show. Carrie Russell. Is that who it was?
Who's that?
I can't remember.
She cut her hair and everyone hated it.
Something
so they stopped
that.
watching it.
Man, I really can't remember.
What show?
I can't remember what it was. Somebody will know what I'm thinking of. Anywho. Yeah, and also, side note, the one girl in it who's not a great actress is going to be in season 2 of The Wheel of Time as a very important character.
Who was
so
that?
Made me laugh. The police girl with the
police girl, what, the like 50-year-old woman?
No, she was like a younger one, and she was at the end. She's like, "Sorry, actually."
Oh yeah, right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, right at the end. Yeah.
Yeah. Anywho.
Yeah. No, what it should have been Monkers. Like I was gonna say, I kind of wish that with Wheel of Time, like it would have worked way better for me if it had been like everyone doing their, you know, very sort of formal speaking.
Mm-hmm.
Can you reel off a line?
Read off a line.
Reel off. Yeah.
From the show.
Yeah. Like how do they speak?
Oh God.
A tad loquacious today.
I didn't even notice. Like, yeah, these farm kids with this, like, posh English accent.
Yeah, I wish it had been like that. But everyone's wearing, like... Yeah, like, everyone's wearing, like, baggy robes.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got Rodney Dangerfield in the middle, who's, like, our main character who we're following. And he's the only person who speaks normally. And he's like, why is everyone speaking like this? Why is everyone... Hey, you're a gem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rodney Dangerfield is Rand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's the only one who gets that, like, why is everyone acting like this?
Replace
Am I in a movie?
Replace every character with Danny DeVito.
But anyway, Cocaine Bear,
mm-hmm.
It should have been, okay, we'll make this, Roid Bear.
Roid Bear, okay.
Right? Starts off
mm-hmm.
in the middle of the night, right? Camper,
mm-hmm.
like super military guy,
mm-hmm.
got his binoculars, right? It's
mm-hmm.
only bloody Joe Rogan. I've only got Joe Rogan, right?
Mm-hmm. Are you sure it's not militia dudes out training and doing the roids?
He's actually anti-militia. He's hunting the militia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Right, because we want to like him.
Right. Yeah, right.
And then,
mm-hmm.
and then I don't know, you can have like a bit of a fight or something at the beginning, and then Joe Rogan, there's a bear, and as there's a bear, it starts to thunder, and he's like, "Where's the bear?" And he's hunting it for a bit like Rambo.
Mm-hmm.
And then the bear gets on him, and it starts lightning, and the bear starts doing him from behind.
Mm-hmm.
You got Joe Rogan's face going, "Ah!" It's played for laughs though. And just as he does that, like lightning strikes.
Mm-hmm.
Piano comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Da 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 da. Baby was born from a roid man and a bear.
Mm-hmm.
Roid Bear, it's Roid Bear.
So you just want this directed by Kenny Hotz?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's just a really I don't know, like maybe the bear and maybe the sex thing, maybe the rape thing. Let's get past that.
Maybe a little too much.
Maybe the bear and Rogan get the militia, and then they clasp hands like Dylan and Arnold, and then the lightning hits, and then they get joined. No one's suggesting that Joe Rogan does steroids.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would have been funner though. Something.
Yeah, just something.
Radioactive bear.
Something more fun. I just I don't know exactly what I was expecting, but something way more silly.
They think of a lot of reasons not to shoot this bear for a, usually you'd concoct a situation where people don't have guns.
Yeah.
And there's a loose bear.
Instead of there's a bear attacking me. Shoot it. No. Moving on. Yeah, why? Yeah, I mean...
I'm the best looking guy in the Middle Ages. That sound great coming out of Rodney Dangerfield's mouth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it would, yeah. Yeah, I mean, they definitely played up... In certain moments, like, the bear is, like, the hero of this. Like, we're supposed to kind of dislike everybody.
The little kid.
In the little, yeah.
I thought he was quite good.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how old he is, but he looks like 9.
Yeah.
I thought he was a pretty good actor for 9.
Yeah, that's fair enough, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Definitely better than the mum. She was terrible.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I also really was expecting, like, way more, like, funny, like, gore. And it felt, like, pretty damn tame to me. Would you agree?
Yeah.
I mean...
It was very tame.
Yeah.
The gore was very tame.
Yeah.
And yes, it was played for laughs, but it would have been funnier if it was either. I guess it would have been funnier if was more over the top, or it would have been harder hitting if it was more realistic. But it's kind of the worst of both worlds.
Yeah, kind of like pick which way you want to do it. Yeah, I mean, you can do. I think you can definitely do gore like over the top, and it'd be very funny. You know, Shaun of the Dead, where some one of the zombies grabs that dude and his leg just pops. His leg just pop off. I think that's funny.
Leslie Nielsen fighting that pillow. That's one of the best bits of film ever.
Yeah, right.
Do you remember when he gets a pillow thrown at him and he's clearly been directed, like spend some time doing that, and he's going...
Yeah, that's funny.
Like it's clinging onto him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted some nonsense, and I don't know, like different actors seem to have different ideas about it, but I don't think it was their fault.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Totally. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I liked the basic idea.
Then out of hell an unholy bear was born.
Yeah.
It's Royd Bear, it's Royd Bear.
You just wait, they will make one, a Royd Bear.
Oh, well, in that case...
They're gonna make...
Someone listening to this, make yourself a bit of money, go and get that domain name.
Royd Bear.
Yeah.
They do a third one called Heroin Bear, it's just asleep.
It's called Smack My Bear Up.
That was mean, sorry. Smack My Bear Up.
It's just asleep, yeah. Well, that's better though, yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably like, that's one of the better effects of illicit drugs, that it puts you to sleep. Makes you, like, nod off and chill out. It's better than, like, taking meth and doing things people do.
I'm assuming, yeah.
Cutting their own fingers off, desperately building bird tables.
Is that what they do?
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever they do. Yeah. Yeah, I just wish that it was, like, way more bonkers.
Yeah.
Myself. I would have enjoyed that more.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anything else to say about that?
No.
Okay. Last thing that's on our list anyways. Survive the Raft. We also watched the first couple of those.
Which sounds, to me, it sounded like it was going to be like, these people have to survive in the water for 3 weeks, just swimming. We'll throw them some food every now and then, but they're in the water all the time. And we have a raft with like a massive lawnmower unit on the front. And it's just driving after them. Mm-hmm. Constantly swimming away from it. It's a nightmare. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it wasn't that though, was it?
No, it wasn't that.
It was Survivor on a raft.
Yeah, we were looking at the little, what the fuck you call it?
Bio.
Thumbnail thing with a description. Yeah, Netflix, and we're like...
The Times UK.
Yeah. We're like, predictions.
Yeah.
One of our favorite games, predictions for things. And yeah, I was like, it's gonna be Survivor on a raft. Clearly, like a nice boat to me. What?
Sure, yeah. I mean, it wasn't a houseboat, though, was it?
No, but I mean, it had shelter and stuff. So anyway.
Yeah, you wanted an actual raft. Like, wait, like people are just laying there, like, covered in blisters.
Yeah, that's what I wanted, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't want any of the show, to be honest. But...
Someone, like, gnawing on a leg.
Yeah. And you were like, yeah, you're probably right. It'll be that.
Yeah, you're so clever.
Drama between people. He did say
yeah.
that. Yeah, you're the smartest person I know.
Yeah.
He said.
Feet not too large, not too small.
Yeah. And then George said, also the description says 9 people, but there's 10 people in that picture.
Smart like that.
Smart like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what is it? What's it about?
It is it's pretending to be a social experiment, a little bit more than others pretend, but equally worthless, where 10 people and then someone has a epileptic seizure, so 9 people have to live together on a raft for like 3 months, and they have a bit of food, they can fish and stuff, but they can't leave the raft. And then, in episode 1, I think, it transpires... Oh, actually, you can vote people out with a twist. There'll always be 9 of you on the raft, or 10. I guess it is 9.
Yeah.
There'll always be 9 of you on the raft. If you vote someone out, you have to replace them. So we're going to bring the replacement. They're going to hang out with you for a couple of days, do a challenge with you, and then you're going to decide if you want to keep them. And if you do want to keep them, you have to choose who's going to go.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end, I guess they get to split like $250,000.
Yeah, and they're like doing challenges where they can add more money to their.
And the challenges are incredibly Survivor. I'm a celebrity.
It's just Survivor. Yeah, eat these worms. Yeah. You know.
That was pretty awesome.
I mean, it was funny because actually a lot of that stuff didn't look all that bad. The mealworm's gross.
Tall
but...
Kevin Hart there running up and just
just like taking handfuls of like bugs and all kinds of stuff.
That's the way to do it. Just
what
get
a
it
champ.
over with, right?
Yeah, just get it over with. You got water there. I wouldn't even chew half that stuff. It's just...
Yeah.
Also, like crickets aren't that bad, really.
They say as well you can throw up.
Yeah, the couple people throw up.
So
and
can
then
you just
continue,
can you just like jam it in your mouth?
Yeah, you were like, I would just put some in and be like, oh my god, and then just do it again.
Oh, excuse me, dilly belly.
yeah, that would be a. I want to see you on one of these shows. That'd be interesting. Anyway,
Which one?
Well, I don't know. I mean, they're all the same as part of the problem. Like, yeah, it's Survivor.
I don't. Yeah.
And yeah.
I mean, yeah.
They set it up as like there was an anthropologist I read on here, Santiago Genovese, who did this experiment in the 70s where he put everybody on this boat called the Akali. Raft, and sent them from the Canary Islands to Mexico on a raft with no motor.
He didn't send them, he just set them adrift.
Yeah, set them adrift, yes.
And they ended up there.
I guess, yeah. And he wanted to take people who represented all different kinds of people around the world to see if people could work together and achieve peace. But it turns out what he was really interested in is whether people would bang. It's like the main thing that he was looking for. And actually they all like pretty much got along. It wasn't that bad. By the end they couldn't stand him.
Can you make a paper out of that? It turns out when you lock people on a boat, they bang.
Yeah,
they don't bang.
Not a great experiment, yeah. Experiment.
What does that tell us?
Yeah, so he was condemned by anthropology and his university in Mexico for this. And
see, now
but they
condemn him by putting like an enormous horseshoe around him, so you can't take that off for a week.
Yeah. But they don't mention any of that on the show. They set it up like this was like a genuine experiment that's really interesting.
And they didn't
Not
succeed.
some crazy guy. Yeah.
Oh, they didn't. You succeed. They didn't succeed. The reason they didn't succeed, you told me, was.
So
there was a big storm.
There was a big storm, and they wanted to
go to port.
And he said no. It'll stop the experiment. And they were like, well, fuck you. We're going to the port, more or less. Like turned against him. Yeah.
Your raft is now my raft.
Yeah, but yeah, he was apparently, again, had to read this on my own. No mention on the show. They act like this was a valid experiment. He was most interested in seeing if the males would fight over the females, and he wanted people to get mad at each other, more or less, and he wanted people to bang, and none of that happened. So he kept, like, pushing them harder to try and make awful things happen, and it never did, really. So in that sense, that this is actually, the show is kind of like a fairly reasonable representation of this experiment.
Yeah.
Because they're just trying to push people.
He wanted them to like fight over the women. So he thought it would get to a point then where it would be like, I'm the biggest person, so I'm in charge, and I'm gonna take the women like as objects. He thought it would get to that.
Something like that.
Because if he thought that, he needed to like do that experiment for like 30 years.
Yeah.
No normal person is going to be like, after 3 months, like, fuck it, I'm just going to take control of this place.
Yeah, indeed.
I shall be king of the raft.
Yeah.
And face no legal repercussions when we get to shore in 3 weeks.
Yeah, right, yeah. So yeah, just nonsense. And they use this as like a pretext for... and the contestants talk about it that way too, like at the beginning at least. This is more than about us winning $250,000, even though I'm money motivated. Like half the characters are like, I'm money motivated, so that's why I'm here.
Yeah,
but also this is an important experiment as well, though. to see if we can get along. I like the intro where they show like January the 6th footage and stuff and talk about we're more divided than ever. Yeah, they have the QAnon shaman there for like a second.
Yeah. Do you think he's making royalties off that?
His lawyer might be. Yeah, so just garbage, more or less. But it wasn't awful if you like survivory type stuff.
I thought the actual show was fine.
It was fine.
The characters were interesting. I'll watch the next episode when it comes out.
Yeah, I'll watch the next one, yeah.
There's only 3 out right now.
Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it is reality TV, like, and it is... It's not the grossest reality TV.
No.
But, you know, what a low bar.
Stuff, yeah. Yeah, what a low bar. Yeah. So probably watch the next one while
Do you think that if we confine people into like a small house or something or a boat, and they've got nothing to do, right? We don't give them quite enough resources or quite enough time. Do you think that will cause conflict?
Yeah. They might argue with each other. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and people get on each other's nerves.
Who came up with this Vault-Tec?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
What would happen if we had an enormous armory and we left the doors open and then we pumped in radio going, revolution, 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 and then some LSD?
What if we cloned one guy?
They didn't do that.
No, they didn't do that.
He did that to himself.
I see.
Yeah.
Right. Yep. Still haven't played that one.
I think the story of that one, we're talking about Fallout now, sorry, was more like the experiment on that was they had a device that could replicate anything, and then like they maybe I'm just making this up. They jury-rigged the doors to not close to see if anyone would misuse it. Like, well, it will. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Like those stings you see sometimes on TV, where it's like Donald McIntyre, like, so I've parked in a really, really rough place in London, and I'm going to leave my my Jaguar car door open. I'm going to see if anyone comes in and tries to steal from my glove box. Like, yeah, they will. They will. Yeah. You're in one of the poorest parts of London.
Yeah.
Idiot.
Yeah. Let's do an experiment.
Which I will film.
Yes.
Commercials all over.
Yeah.
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 Buy beans.
Buy beans.
Still thinking about them beans. Do you have anything else about Raft?
No, I mean, not really, no. Just, yeah, I mean, it's, you know, the part that made me chuckle is just, like, the acting like, you know, it's like an experiment. But also, like they know exactly what it is, and they know that we know exactly what it is. Why the pretext? I don't know, whatever. Yeah. How's your RimWorld game?
I was just about to say, how's your Space Rim?
Yeah.
It's
good.
It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Yep.
Playing with the medieval storyteller mod, and yeah, I've never done a game, a playthrough like that, so it's definitely very different. You know, all quite different, but yeah, it's fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have anything to say. I've been playing with the Save Our Ship 2 mod, which is really good.
Yeah, like adds an end game.
It adds like a completely separate new game, really. You know, it's really good. Yeah,
I'll play that on my next playthrough myself, because that sounds fun. But,
lots of fun. Do you have anything to say about Dr. Delirium? No, the LSD experiments.
Oh, right.
Or BZ experiments.
Right, yeah. No, I mean, it was all stuff that I already knew, so there wasn't really anything interesting to me.
It's a 1 hour, 20-minute documentary on, I think, HBO, maybe.
I think so.
About the Edgewood experiments, where US servicemen were subjected to numerous mind-altering drugs and have... had lifelong effects from them and not been properly compensated and not even been properly acknowledged. And it's terrible and disgusting, but it's also pretty old information. And the information was interesting, and it wasn't terribly presented, but it was all kind of pretty surface level, and there was a lot of the presenter.
Yeah.
I'm an investigative journalist, and I worked at the White House.
Yeah. I mean...
And I'm acting like I've come across all this information for the first time.
Yeah, even though it's been known like since the 70s. Yeah.
It came out in the 70s, yeah.
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 I mean, if you don't know anything about
Yeah.
that topic,
Read
then
the Wikipedia article.
it could be a good primer, I suppose, if you want to listen to it rather than read the Wikipedia page. Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't awful, but yeah, it's just stuff that, the actually only bits where it like caught my interest was just the actual footage, of the guys taking stuff and like them talking, but a lot of that I'd already seen as well, so just nothing really that new.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Pretty appalling.
yeah, awful stuff. Definitely. But yeah, just a little too surface level to interest me in terms of like a documentary about a topic that I already know a little bit about. But if you know nothing, and want to learn about awful things our government has done, it's a good, it could be a good beginner's thing for that.
Slightly frustrating in that it kind of made out like, oh, there's probably a bigger secret because we can't get all of the information. A lot of stuff is redacted. And it's like, well, yeah, I mean, there is, but they kind of like almost edge on like, is there a big conspiracy? What could they be hiding? Well, they're hiding their results and more tests like
military
this.
secrets and
Yeah. And like the idea that they were using this to like make a Manchurian candidate.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't need that. You can,
Yeah.
pick up a military sniper. Not that you would do that anyway. But, yeah.
And I found it annoying that it's like the presenters like we're gonna do a round table of other investigative journalists and we're gonna
who are all scripted,
and they're all speaking to each other like they're on like a house design TV show. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like, what is this? A little bit. I don't know. I would much prefer just getting all the information instead of this performative stuff about like, well, what do we think about that? Well, let's do some research and it's all out there. Just give me the information.
Yeah, it would have been way better with Shatner in it. Well, actually.
Yeah.
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 Do you want to mention that?
Yeah, do you remember what the show was?
Unexplained.
Are you sure that's the one?
I remember The X.
Okay.
With William Shatner.
Is that the one where he's with what's the word I want to use? Like conspiracy theorists who are asking him about alien stuff and he's just like shooting them down easily.
Not even shooting them down, just basic questioning.
Basic questioning.
That's the one I'm...
Yeah, is that the name of it? Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I think it's just one episode of that with William Shatner. It's so worth watching because he's not even that skeptical really. He just
basic questions. Yeah. Plus 10 respect to Shatner after watching that. Yeah.
I knew someone who went to a science fiction convention and got a picture with him.
Oh yeah.
And he said, "Oh no, that one was crap. Let's do it again." Mm-hmm. And took it again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and they were both crap.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Okay. There was that, and so yeah, Doctor Delirium. It's kind of okay. Gal Gadot in James Bond in Gal Gadot.
Oh God, we didn't even finish that.
No.
Yeah, what was it called? Heart of Stone.
Yeah. Well remembered.
Oh, I just saw it scrolling by when we had the TV on this morning drinking our coffee, so I was like, ugh. Yeah, Gal Gadot is like a James Bond figure, and it's very loud and very boring, with very bad effects, and I got very, very bored, and we had to bail.
It's a real talent for making something that's like always moving and things are always happening, but it's so
Always
dull.
Boring. Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why was it always boring?
I don't know. Like
No stakes, no threat.
Yeah, I don't really understand what
No tension.
I mean that's probably the big one, just like no feeling of tension. I mean when you start your opening scene with like your hero like flying down a mountain on like a parachute and then wrapping around like a cable car, and how did she get off of it? And I don't know. Like you're like
What?
There's a problem where you have a character that doesn't have superpowers doing super powery things that destroys all the tension, because then I don't know what the real threat, the threat level is. I don't understand what the real, like, what's the limit of your capabilities. With a superhero thing, all of that is pretty clearly defined. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there can be a real threat.
Yeah, you're right. I was just gonna say that one of my favorite fight scenes is Alpha Dog in Alpha Dog, where Ben Foster, who is playing a character who's like I guess he's a black belt, but he's not Superman or anything, and it's a pretty simple fight scene, but it's done really well, and part of that is it really looks like he's feeling it, like he's strong and he's winning, but he's like screaming, and there's a bit where someone shatters a glass on his head, but he doesn't go down or anything. But it looks like he felt it.
Yeah,
and
like your hero needs to like be able to
Gal
feel
Gadot does
pain.
this.
Yeah. 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 Exactly.
She's awful.
I know. Yeah. She's really not great.
Looks nice.
Yeah, she's very pretty.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Tall too.
I don't think her acting is
2 out of
that
3.
great. She kind of just does the same face like all the time, and if it were something you were really, I don't know, that was like very striking or very good for like certain roles, like Bruce Willis did the same roles all the time. Do you know what I mean? Playing Bruce Willis, but he could still act.
Yeah, and in Die Hard he would like progressively get more banged up.
Yeah, no, that's yeah, exactly. Like as he goes along, like he's bleeding more, and he's like, and like it looks like he is fallible.
And in Die Hard 3, you can smell the booze on him like sweating.
Yeah,
You can
right.
smell the hangover sweat.
Yeah, like there feels like there's more threat when your hero is not like.
Doesn't look like she's
just walked out of the salon.
In front of a green screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Indeed.
What did you think of when she opens the door to that, like, I can't remember what it is, like, snow car, and she's wearing that bubble hat.
Oh, that was hilarious. Yes, with the soft glow.
Yeah.
Like it's like a 50s movie, like that, like really soft glow to make it look like that's outside behind her, but it's like freezing cold and there's no breath in it. Yeah, that. Yeah, at the exact moment that happens, we both were like, ha 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 ha.
Yeah,
from across the room.
I'd say that this film is weird, but not that weird continuation of the male gaze.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Right,
yeah.
like, we'd all love to see Gal Gadot in a summer dress, perhaps, but we can't get away with that. But you know what we can get away with if we make her into a superhero, a la Halle Berry's Catwoman.
Yeah.
For.
Yeah.
Brand Ratner.
Don't talk bad about Catwoman. That movie's great. I'm not joking. It's hilarious. Yeah.
CGI Halle Berry.
Yes,
Yeah.
CGI Halle Berry.
Yeah.
Yeah, bless her.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, no sense of like anything hurting. There's a bit where like she's like flies off like a big slope and then like flies head first into the ground like 100 feet right in front of a car, and she goes, oh, and stands up and then kills a bunch of dudes. It's just like, huh? I don't know. It feels like there's more threat when your characters like can be injured, and things that should kill them aren't like stubbing your toe kind of thing. And again, when you're talking about an actual superhero movie, you can have like reasons for that, and it can, if done right, still feel like there's threat because you understand like what the boundaries are of what they can do. When you can just do anything and it's not explained, Wheel of Time, there's no tension, there's no threat feeling,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the problem.
Yeah. So yeah, didn't finish it.
'Twas trash.
Yeah.
But it also had a good role for Christian Grey, didn't it?
Oh my God, yeah. Yeah, that's right. We were watching it for the first like 15 minutes. You're like,
Your favorite?
You're like, I've seen that guy. Who is that guy? And it's like, let me find out. Oh my God. It's from those sex book movies.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Yeah. Yeah, that was it.
There's incredibly tame sex book movies.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. Something to put in as a little good note. Rewatched Galaxy Quest.
Oh,
last
yeah.
week, too. That's a great movie.
You should get some WD-40 on those doors.
That was so funny.
Yeah.
It's like when he's calling. Yeah, Tony Shalhoub. So great in that.
Galaxy Quest is a, 2000 and something?
Yeah.
Probably 20 years old film essentially about a TV show synonymous with Star Trek that's had its day, and the actors are all kind of washouts, living on living on the what do you call it, like the convention circuit, and then
Tim Allen is like
Tim Allen's basically Captain Kirk.
basically Captain Kirk. Susan Sarandon, or sorry, fucking Ripley's in it, and
Sigourney Weaver.
And Snape.
Snape's in it too.
Snape, yeah. It's very funny.
Alan
Yeah,
Rickman,
they're all
yeah.
like washed up TV stars from this old show, and yeah, they're living on like a convention circuit. And then they're contacted by real aliens who've seen their TV show and think that it's real and come to ask for their help.
Yeah.
And it's very funny.
It's very funny. Yeah.
It's very cute, and yeah, that was a good movie. Glad we watched something good this week.
Yeah, Stan Winston sort of puppets and models at its peak as well. Very good stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun, like, puppeteering effects and that and stuff,
Yeah.
and that was good.
Yeah.
I don't know, is there anything else you want to talk about this week?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't really have anything either. Usually after we finish these, we end up going outside like, oh, I was going to mention this. But,
Well, I guess that's it. Thanks very much, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
Anything else?
I guess that's it, yeah. Somebody suggested that we watch Pokemon again, so
Charmander.
I think we might have to do that.
Say
Right
goodbye to
now.
your freedom, Pidgey.
Say goodbye to your freedom, Pidgey. Damn.
Yeah, straight into it.
Right
Yeah.
into the animal slavery. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe we'll do that for next week as something fun.
Cool.
We'll see.
We'll watch all of Pokemon.
Just Indigo League. I've never seen it the
Still
other
like
ones.
hours and hours of Pokemon.
Well,
Do you remember the one with Brock's dad? Alright, okay, never mind.
yeah.
Alright.
See, you want to.
Alright, thanks very much. Goodbye.